Hey guys, I'd like to apologise for not posting any videos lately. I had quite a bad cold over New Year's and I'm only now getting over it. On that note, happy 2010 to everyone. I hope this is a good year for you. I also have a new microphone, so the audio quality might be a little different to previous videos. Okay, without any further ado, let's get to the review. So, who doesn't remember The Lion King? To this day it's my favourite Disney movie and among my favourite movies of all time. Of course, with a Disney movie came a Disney video game. Yes, it's time to take a look back at The Lion King on the Mega Drive. Let's get this out of the way before we even begin. This game does a great job of capturing all the key scenes of the movie and bringing them to life as playable levels. Remember when Simba went to the elephant graveyard? It's in the game! Remember the stampede? It's in the game! Remember when Simba was in the jungle with Timon and Pumbaa? Yeah, you get the idea. Everything's there, right the way up to the final confrontation with Scar. They even made a level out of Simba chasing Rafiki. Of course, The Lion King story would not have been so incredible without the unforgettable songs, and they're all here in MIDI format. These are quite faithful renditions too. Most of the time when a song was placed into a game it was barely recognisable. That's not the case here. I dare say these MIDI versions of the songs are even quite catchy. As you can see, the visuals are vibrant, colourful and detailed. It looks like no expense was spared recreating the look, feel and sound of Simba's world. The animations flow quite nicely, the characters move as they did in the film, they just plain did a great job. Enemies range from simple hedgehogs up to hyenas, and of course Scar. And some even react to Simba's roar. For example, you have to roar at the hedgehogs to make them roll over and expose their flesh before you can kill them, otherwise you'll be injured by their spines. The roar technique quickly becomes useless though, and when you're playing as adult Simba, most enemies will just ignore you completely. Yes, in the game you'll play as Simba when he is a cub, and when he's a full-grown lion. The two do control differently too. As a cub, Simba can only attack enemies by jumping on them, while as an adult, he can claw them, and jumping on an enemy gets them in some kind of a headlock. As a cub, Simba is a lot more agile, while his full-grown self can feel somewhat clumsy. And of course there's his roar, which I've already covered. Simba's jumps can take some time to get used to, as he has two different kinds. It seems if you just press the jump button on its own, he'll pounce vertically into the air, but if you press the jump button with a directional button, he'll leap a large horizontal distance, but not manage to get much height on the jump. At first you'll be using the wrong jump at the wrong time and getting frustrated, but I can see how it's necessary to make the jumping mechanics work in this way, to suit both the character and the levels. You can grab onto ledges and pull yourself up too. You can also grab onto certain pieces of scenery, and swing back and forth from them before jumping again to cover large distances. The problem with this is that the collision detection for these points is sometimes out, and you'll have to approach these hooks from a particular angle or Simba will just fall through it. The worst offenders for this have to be the hippo tails in the second level. The game has an odd difficulty curve, and not just because of certain points where you will suffer unfair deaths. This is partly due to Simba's adult self feeling a little different to control and requiring a slight change of tactic, and partly due to poor balancing on the developer's part. Here you have to run from a boulder, but there's a hedgehog on your path. If you stop to roar at it and kill it, the boulder will definitely kill you. The only way through is to run straight at the hedgehog and just take the damage from it. This level also has rocks that will fall on you if you don't move quickly enough, and will knock you off ledges and into danger. In this area, from the final level, there's no way to make this jump without going through the fire. It's guaranteed to knock off some of your health, and there's even a hyena on the tiny ledge. It makes you feel as though sometimes you may as well just run for it and hope for the best. There's a point about halfway through the game, in the Hakuna Matata level, which used to stop the game dead for me when I was a kid. And that is a goddamn waterfall. A little ways into the level, you'll come across a waterfall with logs falling down it. The idea is simple enough, jump up the logs to reach the top. Problem is that this section was designed by a masochistic gamer, and can quite literally take forever. One false move and it can immediately spell curtains for poor Simba. The waterfall's quite big and takes a long time to scale. What's worse is that there are times when you'll get 3/4 of the way up, and no logs that you can reach will appear, and you'll be back near the bottom again before you know it. I swear, This waterfall will drive you insane. I remember one time when I was playing this level as a kid, my aunt came to visit and thought that this waterfall was the entire game. No kidding. We had a good little contest going where we used to see who could stay on the waterfall the longest. We'd time each other's efforts, and if anyone ever reached the top, they automatically won. Anyway, moving on from the waterfall. At times, it seems to me that the combat for Adult Simba can simply be boiled down to keep hitting the 4 button repeatedly until the enemy just plain falls down dead. This is particularly evident in the level where you have to chase Rafiki. And it just seems to me that he was more capable of looking after himself as a cub. The levels are quite linear and simple enough to follow, but at least it's clear as to where you're meant to be going and what you're supposed to do. The game employs some neat ideas, such as cutting down boulders to use as ledges, throwing at monkeys in trees so they'll throw you in the right direction, or... No, wait, that's pretty much it. Oh, you can also increase your health and raw meter by collecting special bugs throughout the game. Speaking of bugs, Timon and Pumbaa do appear in some minigames that are actually pretty fun. As Pumbaa, you have to catch the bugs that Timon throws you, and as Timon, you have to jump around collecting bugs while avoiding the black bugs. These minigames provide extra lives and continues, and are quite enjoyable and a welcome break from the main game at times. All in all, the game has some pretty big flaws, but you can't help but find it charming. The graphics and music just warm your heart and remind you so fondly of the movie, that it just takes a good while before particular areas in the game have you throwing your controller around the room. I say, if you love the movie, then play this and you'll more than likely have some fun. If you're not a fan, then the game's few flaws will taint the experience too much for you to see it through to the end. That said, it did leave enough of an impression on me as a kid for me to want to go back to it and review it. So there must be something there. Until next time, this has been Afr0Blu3.
What rolls downstairs, a motor and pairs, rolls over your neighbor's dog? What's great for a snack and fits on your back? It's long, long, long. It's long, long. It's big, it's heavy, it's wood. It's long, long. It's better than bad, it's good.
Tout le monde aime le log.
Yeah, it's really fun. I got your log right here.
Everyone needs a log.